training. He spent 6 weeks at New River Helicopter Base, training as a helicopter mechanic. Mr. McBride went to survival training at Camp Pendleton, California. From there, he went to Vietnam. Mr. McBride spent 14 months in Vietnam. He flew 252 combat missions as a helicopter crew chief in Dorga. He received 1 Purple Heart, 12 air medals, combat crew wings, combat action ribbon, and several other medals and awards for his service. After receiving honorable discharge from the Marine Corps, he studied and graduated from Orange Coast College in Costa Mesa, California. After Mr. McBride worked in the hotel/restaurant business for several years before returning to Kentucky. Before retiring in 2001, he worked at the Lexington Bluegrass Army Depot for 28 years, serving in various positions. Currently, Mr. McBride is serving on the board of directors for Jason's Box, that brings in severely wounded veterans for hunting, fishing, and other activities. Mr. McBride is also a member of the Kentucky Wounded Heroes charity that includes veterans, firemen, police, and EMS personnel that have been wounded or hurt on the job. Please welcome Mr. Michael McBride.
Wow, what a group. Thank you, teachers and staff, for inviting me. Thank you, students, for letting me be here, allowing me to talk to you about my experiences in Vietnam. Thank you to the veterans that are here from the Army, Navy, Air Force, and I guess I'm the only Marine. We're used to that. You read my bio. I say I went to Vietnam. I don't know if any of you older children saw the movie Full Metal Jacket. Very realistic boot camp movie. The guy was a little extreme, but they were. They wanted you to break. If you were going to break, they wanted you to break there, not in combat, where you're going to get some of your buddies killed. I went to Vietnam. I was 18 years old. I served 14 months. I came back. I was not old enough to vote or drink. You had to be 21 in those days. My time in Vietnam, I served with some very, very brave young men and some older ones that were pilots. As a crew chief, I started out as a window gunner, being the first mech. You were on the side where you were the window gunner, and then I became the crew chief. These are my medals and ribbons. They were all earned, except one, by the time I was 20, before I turned 20 years old. The memories that I have of Vietnam are mixed. We worked with the Vietnamese people, the Vietnamese Army, of course the Marine Corps, and the Korean Marines. The Korean Marines were tough fighters. We always felt safe when we were flying or working with them. They had your back just like we had each other's. There were over 4,000 helicopter pilots and crew chiefs that were KIA in Vietnam. Over 4,000 of the 50-some thousand that we lost there. They were brave men. We would land under fire just to pick up wounded Marines, wounded ARVNs, wounded children. The Vietnamese would have their children out on the fighting with them. They would have their families out there. And that was always the worst, when you pick up a little child that was hurt for no reason, not their own fault for sure. I lost 2 very good personal friends. One was Ernie Wilson, he's from up here in northern Kentucky. A sweet guy. He was married 3 days before he came to Vietnam. And his gunner, Woody Woodward, another really good guy. not all guys are good, but these guys are special. And to lose them, it just broke our hearts. We mourned them more than any. We lost 12 in that one day. The helicopter had 8 Marines on there. There were infantry. We called them grunts. The crew chief, the window gunner, and the 2 pilots. Lost all 12 in one day. That is very hard to take. To this day, I mourn their loss, along with the other squadron members that we lost. We had men that won the Silver Star, the Bronze Star. I'm sure their pilots got the